Independent MP Dai joins us at the beginning of this election year. Dai, you dialed into the ground. I mean, when's your best guess of when this election will be called?
Oh gosh, I mean that's Laura.
Sorry.
I'm sure other people who've got the crystal ball. Happy New Year, by the way, than me. I'm a mere independent voice for my community in Fowler, but everybody seems to be talking either an early election, which could either be end of March or 12th of April. Really, at the end of the day, it's up to the government, the Prime
Yep.
Minister Anthony Albanese to call. But from my perspective, out here in Western Sydney. I've just been listening to your program, and people are still, I think, struggling with the cost of living, energy. I mean, I went to a couple of local businesses yesterday and asked them how they're coping with the cost of living, and they're struggling. Small family-run businesses saying that electricity prices is just killing them, and that's a solution that I believe that the Anthony Albanese governments have not really come up with a solution for, especially small businesses. They, as we know, Laura, they are the engine of our economy. They drive, they employ people. And out here in Western Sydney and in Fowler in particular, family-run small businesses having to put up with the rising costs of energy prices. I know that the government will be flogging the fact that they've provided a $300 rebate for small businesses in terms of for the energy bills, but $300 on an energy bill has gone three times from a few $1,000s to almost above $10,000. It's just not going to be enough for small business here. So people are still really struggling. Families are struggling. Small businesses are struggling. And in addition to that, for me out here, I've been asking for infrastructure investment for our public transport system, manufacturing, future made in Australia. Well, out here, a local manufacturing business that I visited last year after 40 years, they're about, to announce closing down. I can't name who they are yet. They're struggling, coping with the fact that, and they're a big, they provide a lot of infrastructure support to other organizations that are important, and yet they have to close down because they just cannot survive.
So what does that mean, Dai, in an election year? Of course, you're a very strong independent voice now. Remind our viewers that, you ran a pretty humble campaign last time around. You just wanted to reduce Labor's margin there in Fowler. You did absolutely more than that, knocked off Christina Keneally. This time around, I mean, you'd have to still think that your constituents, they're traditional Labor voters. But what are they going to do? I mean, I assume they're still going to vote for you, Dai, but what about, seats around you? Are people looking to switch their vote further? Would they switch it to another independent, or would they think about a Liberal government for the first time in perhaps their voting lives?
Look, from my door knocking out here, those who have voted Labor, and I, from the conversation I've had with them, who actually voted Labor last time as well, and not me, they have said that's it. They've had enough of. They've been voting Labor for a long time, and this government has really failed them. Obviously, the cost of living, energy prices, insurance price cost as well has gone up, and I raised this on your program. I think in my first few months being elected. So people are saying that they're really stressed. They have to get a second job in order just to manage their households, and I think that was at the start of 2022, 2023, when everybody was just talking about The Voice. I kind of tapped into that feeling of frustration and hopelessness for many in our community, those who are describing themselves as Labor voters. So I think, from my perspective, there is that sense in other seats that they probably. I mean, I'm not door knocking other electorates, but the sentiment is that can they afford another 3 years of the Albanese government? Can they afford it? Because they can't afford, to provide for their families. They can't afford to run their businesses. Can they really afford another 3 years of the current government?
It's going to be a long year, particularly this first quarter. Dai, we'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.